Hi guys, it's April with Crafting with April. I am going to show you guys how to make this braided back or braided spine. Some people call it a lattice spine card. It's a very old card. I didn't think that there were any design space files for it, and after I made this, I was talking to somebody and discovered that there were, but I decided to go ahead with it because mine is set up for a 5x7 card instead of an A2, and I'm using the dahlia fold on the front of it. So I've created the file. I'm going to supply that to you guys so that you can make this as well, and just so you have a laugh. This is my second time shooting this video because I shot it making this card and I didn't have the camera on. Or either it cut off on me. I'm not really sure, but hopefully everything's going smoothly now. This was the first mock-up that I made. So there are several ways that you can do this card, several different variations, and of course you can put anything on the front that you want. Our main goal for the video is to show you guys how to make the spine. When it cuts, it's going to look like this, and you can certainly change out the sentiments. I believe I had to buy this sentiment, so if you don't want to buy it, pick something else. Just detach it and pick something else. And you'll notice that not all of these spines are spliced off. I found that if I didn't let it cut completely through on some of them, it was much easier for me to fold the card and score where it was scored than it was if I split them all off and made them cut all the way through, especially with the heavier 110-pound cardstock, which is what I made on those other cards. You'll want to use your bone folder and bring it in the direction of the cuts, because if you go in this direction, some of these are loose and you'll see how it might catch. So you want to make sure that you come from this direction and get a good fold on it going with the direction of the cuts. Then you'll want to make sure that all of your, like I said, it's easier to do this. Some of these will just pop loose depending on the cardstock. This is Cricut cardstock and it's popping loose. Now if you're using Gina K, something of that nature, you're probably not going to be able to do it this way. You're probably going to need to take your scissors and just clip. I mean, it's like a hair, like right there. And that's all you would be clipping. And if it's got a little tail on there and you want to clip it off, just be careful. You don't want to cut and make your card look funny there, so you can just trim that off. If you'll notice, the one on the bottom has the cutout on the actual bottom of the piece. Save this piece, you're going to need it. If by chance you've already taken it out and you hadn't scored your card or folded your card, you'll want to make sure you fold that. But hang on to it, you're going to need it, very important piece. Now starting at the bottom, you're going to skip this one and you're going to choose the second one. Oops, I didn't break that one loose, did I? And you want to fold this back just so that it lines up. Make sure that your score line is meeting the score line prior to it. But you don't want to come so far, let me show you on this next one. You don't want to come so far back that you can see these points like that. You don't want to do that. So you're just going to fold that back to here. And then you're going to skip one and you're going to do the same thing and make sure that it lines up before you press it down. The cuts are a little bit deeper. They may look deeper on some than the other. That's to give you some give so that you can work with the card. Again, the next one, just get it lined up and press it down all the way to the top. You want to continue this pattern all the way to the top, skipping one and taking the next one. This is a quick, easy card, 30 minutes or less once you've picked out your paper. And then we have all of those. Now you want to pick your card up, and you're going to want to tuck each one of these under the other. Kind of like braiding. That's why I'm calling this the braided card. Some people call it a lattice card. But you're just going to tuck each one of those. And now that piece that we saved, you're going to, it helps me just to put a little dab of glue on, just a dot, and stick it up under that one and line it up so that I can get it even up here. And then just a touch of glue on each one of those. And glue that down. That's the only one I glue. You can certainly glue these others, but they won't come apart. You have to actually pull them apart. So they stay. You don't have to worry about that. Now I am using the Cricut corrugated cardstock. The other card I used, the purple, I used the Brights. This is one of the, I believe this is the pastel pack. They have 3 different packs. Get them all, you'll love it. It also comes with 2 sheets of the corrugated in each color, and it comes with 2 sheets of smooth cardstock that coordinate with each color. As well as on the cover, you have this plastic. It's a 12 by 12, at least it is on these that I got. You can totally use this for those ornament gift boxes on the last video I made. Perfect. You won't have to use any of your acetate for that. Once you have this portion done, if you're going to add ribbon or anything around your panel, you need to do that now. And I use, for when I do ribbon, I use the Xyron. It just sticks. I think I'm going to go with the white on this one. Just need a little piece. And I did cut it long enough. Just run some glue on there, and I'm probably going to have a sticky mess there. Some on that end. And then I'm just going to, bring it about I don't know, just over a quarter of the way up. Try to keep it straight. Bring it around the other side. Just a little hint of something, not much. As a matter of fact, I think I will do one of each. Why not? We'll just design as we go. It helps if I have that the correct position instead of upside down. I think I'll just kind of overlap. Yeah, I like that. If you don't have a really wide ribbon like this one. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and then once you have that, you'll of course want to use, I'm using art glitter glue, whatever glue that you're using. I love this stuff. It really doesn't take as much as I use. I'm a overboard gluer. And just place your panel evenly and straight as possible. And then flip it over and put the other panel. And I'm gluing off camera most likely, but most of you guys know how to put glue on the paper, so let's line that up. And there we go. Hey, I got that straight. I don't believe it. Okay, once you have that on there, I'm going to go ahead and add my sentiment. And I used a glaze jelly roll pen on this just because of the color. I didn't have the Cricut pen in this color. I used the jelly roll adapters from Little Paper Towns. A lot of people like the Chromas. I will never put a Chromas tool in my Cricut. Those are plastic parts. Even the Cricut one is made of plastic and has grooves to have give. Those Chromas do not. If your clamp is tighter than what others are, it could very easily break your clamp. So you will never catch me putting one of those into my machine. I like my Cricut machine way too much for that. And oops, I dropped this on the table, so I have glue everywhere now, but that's okay. Sometimes when you glue on ribbon, it doesn't want to stick well. And I am bringing this all the way to the edge. That's the look I'm going for. I need to slide up a little bit on that ribbon. There we go. And that's going to take a few minutes to stick. So while that's drying, and we're going to be using these little guys in just a little bit, you'll notice all these circles. This one is your plate. I apologize if I bumped the camera there. These have score lines on them, and they are going to be a little bit difficult to see if you're using pattern paper. And I purposely on this card chose, there it is, I purposely chose a one-sided paper for this one. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. You're going to fold those in this direction, so it looks like a little baseball field. And then you're going to pull these up like this and make a little cone out of them while bringing those to the middle, and you're going to flatten it. And these are going to create your flower petals, okay? So you're going to do that with each one. Just for time's sake, I'm going to do another one here to show you guys. Fold it on those scores. As you can see, if you use a double-sided paper, they could be a little bit more difficult to see, but they do come out really pretty. But so do the ones with the white. So don't sweat it if you don't have a double-sided paper. Just go ahead and pick something pretty and fold all of your score lines. Get them all done and then roll them up, and then we'll place them. Am I on the right side? See, it's even difficult for me to see these sometimes. But I noticed that if you tilt them in the light, you can see a faint score line on them. Makes it easier to fold. With a solid color paper, you're probably going to see it a little bit easier, and I do recommend that maybe you try a few on a solid paper where you can see these score lines to kind of get the feel of how to fold these. And then it will go much quicker for you. Let's see, there's one. You'll get used to looking for that score. Sometimes the paper itself can make it hard to see. That one was right on that line, so it was a little difficult. But these don't take long, and you can make these larger or smaller depending on your preference. Having a difficult time seeing that. There it is. I like to get all mine folded, and then it's just easier to work with the rest of it. This to me is the hardest part of this one, this flower, are those little score lines. Okay, and again, just to show you, I bring those up, kind of making a cone, and then I flatten it out. This is called a dahlia fold. Okay. And for this one, we're folding it flat so it'll go in an envelope, but you can most certainly put in a glue dot to pop those up and make a 3D flower, a truly, instead of dimensional like we're doing, you can get a really good 3D look on that. Some people, instead of doing this fold off to the side, do a square and just roll them and create dahlias that way, make out of the little cones and layering them from the bottom layer up, giving it a really good 3D effect. I think I may do that one next. But you're just flattening all of these out. And you may have extra of these once you're done. If you do, don't sweat it. If you don't have enough, just cut a couple of more circles. It's going to depend on how you place them on this piece. And this, I enlarged that piece and cut a hole in the center to find center because my flowers were coming out. I was like, well, it fit on that first card, and now it's a little bit wider and it's overhanging my panel just a little bit, and that's why. Because if you come out here and glue them, that flower is going to be a lot bigger than if you come in here and glue them. And so you may have extras of these, and you may have just enough. So you're just going to put some glue on the back of one of them, and I'm going to go by this hole and see how this one comes out for me. And I'm going to place that one there and put some glue on the next one. And these pieces will overlap. Don't worry about those. If they're over, under, that's your preference, whatever you want. Just to make sure that, I think that one's off folded. I did. See, if you get it folded off to the side, it might do that to you. So don't worry about it. Just pick up another one and go with it. You want to glue these and get these tops even. Like that right there. That one, you want that to be even. And just keep gluing all the way around. And you can see I think it's easier just to put the glue on here. You can see the flower taking shape. That one that I put down that wasn't folded exactly straight kind of gave me a little bit of a gap, but I'm okay with it. And the next one. Want them to go flat, and that's the one I messed up. See, I had one extra, didn't need it. I'm going to leave that one down and that one up. And I got a little bit of an overlap here because I had one that wasn't square. So you'll want to make sure that you get those as square as possible. It'll be okay. And then that'll be glued down. Now you just want to put some glue on the back. And line it up on your card. Trying to give it about the same space. And then I'm using my Cricut weeding tools here. I love these things, especially for this. Just makes it so much easier to work with. These are enamel dots. So I'm just going to push that down in the center there. Give that a little bit of a clean look. This one, for some reason, doesn't have any glue, keeps falling off the paper. I'm just going to dab some of these down this side. To give it jazz it up just a little bit. Hopefully I'm getting those in a straight line. Usually I do it from directly overhead like you guys are seeing it. But if I do that, my head's going to block what you guys see. And then maybe little scroll peeping out from under it. Another medium here. I'll do the same on this side. And that's all there is to doing this card, guys. Very simple, very easy, 30 minutes or less. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you need any of the products, such as the art glitter glue, I sell that in my Etsy shop. I'm going to leave links below where you can find everything that I used today, especially the Cricut cardstock. Clicking on those links and making a purchase will earn me a small commission, but that's how I continue to support the group and bring you free files and videos. So please support me, and I thank you in advance for that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Also, come on over to Cricut Crafting Facebook group or the Cricut Maker Projects group. Both groups are mine. I do post the projects in both groups unless it has to use the maker to use that. And sometimes I will post that in the other group just to show people what the maker can do. So you won't miss out on anything if you just join one group, but I would greatly appreciate you joining both. You guys have a wonderful day and make something beautiful. Thanks for joining me.